Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Chris Crowley. This is From Fatty to Natty Bodybuilder, and this is episode 1. Enjoy.
Names on the stage, got the whole crowd bouncing, talking about the king of kings, so when we bounce,
Hello, my name is Chris Crowley. Welcome to the channel. This is From Fatty to Natty Bodybuilder. Before we begin, folks, be sure to hit that like, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and share this with your friends. This is a new channel, and all the help I get is greatly appreciated. I really appreciate your support. Let's go ahead and dive into this. So, the purpose of this channel is I want to take you through the journey that in my life that by utilizing bodybuilding as a lifestyle, as a sport, as an art, as a hobby, whatever you want to call it, really truly helped me get into some fantastic shape, even in my I guess you have to say late 40s, since 50 is a lot closer than 40 is right now. So you'll see in some pictures that I'm about to put up that I wasn't always in fantastic shape. Not to say that I'm in fantastic shape right now. The holidays did come upon us. I enjoyed them a little bit more than I should have. But that's okay. It is part of the process in bodybuilding that you are going to put on some weight and then take some off, put on, take off, put on, take off. You just don't necessarily want to get too extreme if you're in the natural realm, because trust me, being natural, you have to be a little bit more on point, okay? So, a little bit of background. I've always dealt with some weight issues all my life. And I attribute most of that to poor diet. Pretty much poor diet, because exercise was never something I didn't do. There I might have taken a couple months break here and there, but I would exercise, whether it was body weight exercises, whether it was kettlebells, whether it was weightlifting, even CrossFit and all those different things. It wasn't the exercise that was the problem, it was the diet, okay? There was definitely a cult-like mentality in some of the exercise modalities. Like, for example, in the kettlebell world, I remember in the early 2000s, it was kind of like, oh, if you're swinging the kettlebell 100 swings, and you're doing the snatches and the get-ups and everything else, you don't have to worry about a diet. You can continue to eat whatever the heck you want. Sorry, maybe it works for some of you out there. Maybe some of you guys are those metabolic freaks that you can, just because you swung a kettlebell for about 15 minutes, now all of a sudden you can eat a large meat lover's pizza. That's just not me. Okay, so even though the exercise was there, the diet never really was. So let's fast forward just a little bit to, I want to say it was either 2016 or 2017. I was on a business trip in Detroit, met a man, his name is Dave Bowers. I'll put some links in the description about Dave Bowers. Awesome guy. In fact, he's in that picture right there behind me. And I'll dive a little bit more into that here in a second. So I met him on a business trip, and we got to talking. I could tell he was a bodybuilder from like a mile away. The dude, his polo shirt had muscles on it, right? So we're talking, and he was explaining to me, he wasn't a pro at the time. He was still working on his pro card. I don't know. I want to say that he's not pursuing that right now. He is a promoter within the IFBB and the NPC, doing his own shows in Indianapolis. And, that day, talking to him, really nice guy, and just, I can tell that he wasn't like being judgy of me, even though, my gut was sticking way the heck out and everything else. So, you know what, I'm going to do bodybuilding. I always wanted to. I think it is one of the most beautiful forms of art out there. I really do. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. So I looked up some of the shows in my area, and I made the decision in the beginning that I was going to do natural bodybuilding. What I mean by that is I wasn't going to take performance-enhancing drugs. There's a myriad of reasons. Biggest reason was I made that promise to my wife that I wouldn't do it, and also I made that promise to God that I wouldn't do it because for religious reasons. Okay, now before anybody gets all Haiti on the comment section here, You do you, okay? I'm not going to condemn, I'm not going to condone what people do. If I wanted to be that much of a purist about people that aren't natural, then, oh, they're putting something exogenous in their body. Well, then maybe on a Saturday night I could stop drinking my shots of Jameson or, Woodford Reserve or some other whiskey, because, if I'm going to complain about you putting something in your body that might be dangerous, then I shouldn't put anything in my body that might be dangerous, right? So let's just get that out of the way. It's just what I chose to do. I chose to go natural. Period in the story. So, looking up a couple of the natural bodybuilding organizations in the area, I don't even know how I found out that there was such a thing, but because maybe I just typed up natural bodybuilding, I don't know. But anyway, found Natural Muscle Association, and I'll put that description down there too. And I decided to do this one show again. Now, I'll show you a picture of just how embarrassing I looked at that first show. Now, I embraced a ketogenic way of eating, okay? Shout out to my coach, Rob Goodwin of Ketogenic Bodybuilding. Now, in 2019, I did my first competition at Natural Muscle Association Ran a Fire. Even though I ate ketogenically, I didn't eat ketogenically properly, and I didn't have Mr. Goodwin as my coach at the time. I only had myself as a coach. So, I was doing those fat bombs where I had the coconut oil and the almond butter. This is, by the way, a really sweet treat. I would melt the coconut oil and then mix it up with the almond butter, put it in an ice cube tray, and then boom. You know what I mean? They're tasty, and they probably aren't bad as far as a treat's concerned if I maybe just had one cube. But I would eat the entire tray in one night. So I was easily putting down 8,000, 9,000 calories a day, easily. Because I could put down some groceries if I want to. And I was thinking, well, it's keto, so it's okay. There are some keto folks out there that'll tell you that calories don't matter. I don't know how they came to that conclusion. Because especially for me, it did not work out that way. So 2019, I got up on that stage with absolutely no reason to be up on that stage. I was really just that overweight guy in the Speedos looking like complete trash. And I did that to myself. But when I did that, the people I met, first of all, Will Reddick, huge shout out to him. That man is my brother from another mother, who's also up on the wall back there. I need to move these lights better next time so you can actually see these photos better. But Will Reddick, I remember emailing him after the show, apologizing, because I was like, I really had no business being up on that stage looking the way I looked and doing a disservice to the sport, doing a disservice to your organization, et cetera, et cetera. He wrote back telling me that he was proud of me just for even getting up on that stage. And I motivated him. And that was really very heart-touching, And I told him in that thing that the next time I get up on that stage, I'm going to do 1,000 times better. So now 2020 comes into play, right? And this time I Googled a little bit more, ketogenic bodybuilding, right? Now, to explain why I even went ketogenic, that was really from the advice from my doctor, Dr. Alduri, who has since retired. Awesome man. And he's one of those very few doctors that will treat you and not the symptoms, right? One of the reasons why he retired from the medical profession is because he really was unorthodox in the idea that he was actually trying to make his patients healthier, as opposed to what the American medical industry has become. And it's more so just a pill popping industry to make people richer. Okay. So he was like, look, you eat this way, you'll do better than if you don't. So that's why I started with the ketogenic diet. And trust me, it really did help me. It helped my cholesterol numbers go down. It helped my insulin numbers, A1C numbers and all those stuff go down. So now going back into the dive of trying to figure out how ketogenic bodybuilding work, I came across two channels in general that were just extremely helpful. Keto Savage, and I'll put him down there in the description as well. That guy's name is Robert Sikes, awesome dude, right? And I also came across Rob Goodwin, and again, shout out. And I looked up both of them. Rob Goodwin, what turned me on to his way of ketogenic bodybuilding more, okay? And both gentlemen are awesome, and I think you'd be perfect going with either guy, right? But what turned me on to Rob's style a little bit more was the fact that he was closer to my age. So I was able to relate to that, okay? So I went to that page. I looked up what was called the rules of engagement for ketogenic bodybuilding. I highly advise downloading that PDF. And yeah, it was one of those things where calories mattered. So again, I did 2021 by myself. I didn't have a coach. I was doing everything, via the internet. And that was simply because I just couldn't justify the expense. I'm the single breadwinner household. I just could not justify the expense of hiring a coach for some endeavor that I decided to undertake, right? I just couldn't justify it in my mind, right? So 2020, I did that Reign of Fire again, and I'll show you the picture. I did what was called the Transformation Division then. Transformation Division in a lot of these different bodybuilding organizations are showing kind of like your before and your now pictures. And that is super inspirational for a lot of folks that maybe need that nudge, right? So I did that. Full disclosure, I was the only person there, so winning first place was by default, but whatever, okay? And then I did the Mr. Cleveland in 2020. I didn't place as well as I wanted to, and that's okay. I mean, I definitely became part of the club at that point. Like, I really belonged on that stage, and I'll show you some pictures. So then that happened. So then I'm like, okay, well, now I'm going to compete again in 2021. And I decided. Now, one thing I want you to understand is I recognize that being in my 40s, my years of being able to be even remotely competitive are, I'll just be honest, they're by and large gone for the most part. I mean, my chances of picking up a pro card in the IFBB might have left me about 20 years ago, okay? And I'm all right with that, but I'm just going to continue to compete. And if I do, by the grace of God, get an IFBB pro card, I'm going to be ecstatic, right? So anyway, 2021, I was like, you know what? I want to do Dave Bauer's show. I live in Cleveland. He lives in Indianapolis. It's only like a 4.5, 5 hour drive, I think. So I asked him, I said, hey, when's your shows? He has two shows. He has the Indy Pro, and I don't think I was able to get in on that one. And then he had what's called the Indiana State Championships / Battle of the States. Since I'm not an Indiana resident, thank goodness. Kidding. I couldn't do that one. I'd have to do the Battle of the States. I said, okay, well, I'm doing your show. And that was in August of this year. And I was like, okay, I'm going into the NPC. My, face, my body is going to be on their website like forever. So I'm going to do this right. So I hired, I hate using that word. I asked Rob if I could be one of his clients. So boom, became one of his clients. And so the diet was even a little bit more monitored than when I was doing it by myself. A lot more monitored, I'll put it that way. And that was very, very, very helpful. My biggest regret about 2021 is I didn't hire him on board as to be my exercise coach as well. Again, I was trying to say, I couldn't justify the expense necessarily, but the thing is he's not expensive at all. But so anyway, boom, move forward. 2021, I did that show. I'll show you some pictures there. There's even one picture in the back there. I didn't place that well. It's okay though, because honestly, it wasn't like I was just some guy that paid an entry fee. You'll see that happen a lot in this sport. People that basically just paid an entry fee and didn't look like they touched a dumbbell their entire life, and they get up there and they do their thing. They're not hurting anybody by doing it, but when I did it, I felt like after I was done, I really wasted everyone's time, including myself. So it's like, if you're gonna get up there and do it right. Don't be the person who just pays an entry fee, right? So I get up there. I placed dead last in every category. There were some people there that were just monsters compared to me. In fact, I showed up that day weighing 162. In the NPC, 162 at 5'9" is probably not going to get you too many trophies, no matter what division you're doing. So coming home, and my wife was like, "You have worked way too hard. You're doing another show." So, all right. Natural Muscle Association comes in again. I do the Reign of Fire. And that was only a couple weeks out, so it wasn't like I had to starve myself for much longer, right? So I did that show. I did the classic physique, I did the open bodybuilding, and I did the Masters over 40 bodybuilding. Classic physique didn't place that well. The gentleman who actually took first place, phenomenal physique. And then the competitors in the Open and in the Masters, we all put on one hell of a good show. And I brought something that I didn't know I had in me, because I ended up getting my pro card in 2 of those divisions. In the Masters over 40, the Masters over 40, and then the Masters overall. I ended up competing with another Masters in their 50s and another Masters in their 60s. And then took the pro card home on that, and I took the pro card home on the Open. So I was very pleased with my results. So that's the background of how this whole train got started, if you will. So now, the future and of what I'm going to do with this sport and with this channel. I plan on competing at least once this year, if not twice. There's going to be the USBF, the United States Bodybuilding Federation. There's a show in Akron, Ohio, that is being run by Will's wife, Yolanda. It's called the Kings and Queens, and that will be in Akron. And then there's a show in Peoria, Illinois, where I can actually, my pro card with the Natural Muscle Association is valid with this organization as well, and I may use my pro card and compete in there. So in the future of this channel, I'm going to chronicle that. I'm also going to go over some workouts and dietary tips, hopefully interview some really awesome people, and share a lot of great content with you. And also, you know what, if you like, leave something in the comments. If there's some topics you'd like me to cover, by all means, right? Any request you have, just, lay it on me. It's all good. I am ready to just go at it and have fun. So again, thank you so much for checking out this channel. I really appreciate it. Again, like and subscribe, share this channel. Have a beautiful day. God bless you, and see you next time.
Names on the stage, got the whole crowd bouncing. Talking about the king of kings.